Hello and welcome to Varadero. It's almost the end of the year and I've been reflecting a little bit about my travels this year, namely to Cuba. I've been all over the country this time. I took about 6 trips in total in 2024. So I thought, why not just make a video just recapping the resorts and picking my favorite one. You gotta wait till the end for that. It's beautiful here. I mean, today it's not as windy anymore. It was very windy for most of the week that I've been here. But yeah, the water is very calm. So I can finally see the potential of this beach. So yeah, let's get on with it. I'm gonna have to make sure I don't step on that because that is more slippery than ice in the dead of winter in Canada. So, firstly, I went to a sanctuary at Grand Memories in Cayo, Santa Maria. And that place has a special spot in my heart, to be honest with you, because I was there before the lockdowns, and during the lockdown, sometimes when I'd feel claustrophobic in my home, I would just imagine being at that beach because that beach is gorgeous. And that's the main selling point about that resort. It's that beach. It's gorgeous. It's wide. It's deep. You can walk for a while. And honestly, when I'm booking a trip, my personal thing that I look for is the vibe of the resort, and it's the X factor, and you can't really put it into words. That beach is gorgeous, and the vibes there are perfect. Honestly, it's great. It's great. It was amazing. And in terms of the resort itself, it's dated. They are slowly trying to renovate it, from what I saw. But yeah, it is definitely dated compared to other resorts. And it shows. Sometimes it shows, I'm not gonna lie. But otherwise, I mean, the staff is fantastic. The food was decent. That beach, again, I'm gonna mention the beach again. It's beautiful. So next, I went to a sanctuary at Grand Memories in Holguin. I wanted to try a different sanctuary. And I personally like the whole sanctuary deal of it because it's a very tiny amount more money than the normal Grand Memories, but you get access to essentially 2 resorts, right? You got the sanctuary and the Grand Memories. You can hop around the buffets, whatever you feel like. So that's always nice as well. So yeah, definitely more than worth the money. So went to Holguin to check it out. It's a newer resort. By this point, I think it's like about 2 to 3 years old. So it's very new, very fresh. But also, it was in the middle of nowhere. So if you're looking for a more party vibe, that's probably not a resort you want to go to. And the beach is, it's good. Let's give it that. Very good in terms of optimal weather conditions. But I mean, the staff there are amazing as well. But the only thing is I didn't like how long it took for the bus ride, to be honest with you, to get from the airport to the resort. That was a bit of a long journey. I mean, you're on the plane and then you're on the bus again for the equal amount of time. So it's just, it can be a little taxing, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's worth it. And again, you're isolated on that resort. So, you can't go out and about. You can't do stuff. I mean, you can go take a day trip to like Santiago de Cuba, but that's all the way at the south of the country, a couple of hours ride there. So yeah, it takes a little bit of an effort to find civilization sort of over there. But it was definitely a very relaxing getaway, let's put it that way. If you want a relaxing getaway at a clean, fresh resort, you want to go to Sanctuary or Grand Memories in Holguin, essentially. Then I went to Memories Caribe in Cayo because it's very popular for some reason. Like when I was booking it, I saw a lot of people recommending it as if it's like a cult classic or something like that. It's a pretty old resort. So I was very curious to see what it had to offer. And when I went there, the beach in Cayo I never thought that I could see a better beach than the one in Cayo Santa Maria here in Cuba. But the Cayo one topped it. And sure, the Santa Maria beach is beautiful, amazing, and you won't want for anything. But that Cayo one is like an extra level up, It's the S tier. And that beach was phenomenal. The only issue was that the mosquitoes were so bad. And I feel really bad for people who go there and don't bring bug spray. And the bug spray that you can buy here in Cuba I don't think it works that well. So yeah, it's not ideal. Again, I'm looking at the patch of slime so that I don't trip over. That wouldn't be fun, right? With this camera's not waterproof, and if I slip and fall into the water, and there's rocks underneath here, let me show you. Yeah, that's not going to be fun. So yeah, that beach was fantastic. It was world class. The resort was very old, and it was during low season, so I took the food situation with a grain of salt, literally and figuratively, because the food situation obviously could have been better even by Cuban standards. And one thing is that sometimes they ran out of coffee and things like that. So, but I did hear a couple months later that, you know, they did, like, you know, people went there and the food was amazing, and, you know, they had coffee all the time, you know, pretty much no shortages. So that was nice to hear. But yeah, overall, it's a dated resort, but you go there for the beach, and it has more of like a lively atmosphere as well. So that's always nice. So yeah, that's why you go there. And people have a lot of fun there, I can tell. I can tell why. And obviously you can also hop over to Playa Pilar, which is one of the best beaches in the world, if not the best. I mean, white sand, clear blue water. And I lucked out because the day that I went on, there was no wind. The sun was shining and it was gorgeous. You know, I had such a beautiful day there, just sitting by the beach. And then I went to Valentin, Perla, Blanca, back at Cayo Santa Maria. And first things first, that resort is all the way at the end of the strip, so you're the last to be dropped off, the first to be picked up, you know, so it takes longer than any of the other resorts in the Cayo Santa Maria strip of resorts. And also the interesting part was that there were only 25 people. If you saw my video, you would know that there were only 25 people there. In a resort, a sprawling resort with over 1,000 rooms, I think 1,100 or something like that. So it was dead. But it had its charm, especially the employees. I would say so far the best employees in Cuba that I've experienced. Absolutely wonderful. Shout out to the employees in Valentin, Perla, Blanca, because you guys are wonderful. I had such a great time, and the way you guys took care of me on another level, like, it was unmatched. And don't get me wrong, Cubans in general are very nice people, and in resorts, you know, you'll get good service, generally speaking. They're keen to help, they're keen to serve you whatever you may need. But that Valentin, Perla, Blanca, that was a S tier in terms of service, you know. And I miss some of the people there, actually, now that I think about it. I think they're doing scuba diving here. Anyways, so Valentin, Perla, Blanca, the beach was absolutely gorgeous, and it felt kind of surreal sometimes because there was nobody around. Again, if you saw my video, the first impressions one, for majority of the beach at that resort, there was nobody there, so it was surreal to me. You know, it's just like nobody's bothering me. There's no music blaring, nothing. You know, the only downside is that there was no beach bar. That's the only thing. But then later, I found out, like a day later, I was misled actually by one of the guests. He said to go this way. It was actually the beach bar was actually the other way. So I went east instead of west. So yeah, but that was a beautiful beach. Just swimming in there by myself like that at the end of that strip, like, it feels surreal sometimes, you know. And in terms of high season, I would say that there are many more people, definitely. And it's, you know, it has a more lively atmosphere, I heard, things like that. But again, it's like at the end, so that was the only downside for me. And the food was, it was, you know, it was a lot of shortages, I'm not gonna lie, in terms of food. They closed down the main buffet because why would you open a huge buffet for 25 people? They had a mini buffet and then a la carte for dinner every night. But it wasn't bad. The food tasted good, don't get me wrong. It's just, you know, limited amount of selection, things like that. But that was only lowest of low season. When you go there during higher season, when there's more than 25 people, you'll definitely get, I think, better food and stuff like that, right? So yeah. And I mean, considering the price I paid, my gosh, it was a steal. Like, I don't know how they made a profit off of me, you know? So that was a steal. And then comes Melia, Trinidad Peninsula. And I wanted to try more of a luxury resort. And Melia, Trinidad Peninsula is also new. It's like, I think, about a year old. And it was in Trinidad, right? So it's at the south of the country, not at the top. So the most beautiful beaches are at the top of the country and not the south. So I just wanted to check it out as well, see that area. And that resort, was beautiful. The resort itself, you know, I really love the decor. They really, you know, it's a nice place to be in. You know, you feel good being in it because of how meticulously they designed that whole place. So shout out to the architecture, the interior designers, whatever, because they did a phenomenal job from what I've seen. And I mean, I haven't been to every resort in Cuba, but I've seen pictures of resorts, and that resort looks the best, in my opinion, in Cuba, I would say. And, you know, the service was also extremely professional, extremely professional. They were trained really well, right? So extremely professional. And that was really nice, you know, well taken care of. The food, you know, sometimes I forgot that I was in Cuba, quite honestly. I forgot because of how good the food was and how much variety we had. And, you know, like your drinks, no shortages. There was like a cocktail bar and the guy made the most elaborate drinks. I forgot that I was in Cuba and Cuba was going through shortages. I believe it's because Melia, they import a lot of their goods, right? Their food, drinks maybe. They have their own transportation. I heard, I don't know. I have no way of verifying this. So yeah, that was interesting. That was really, really nice. The only downside, and that's a major downside if you're coming to Cuba, is that the beach is not great in terms of walking because it was extremely rocky, you know, and you need shoes and you can't even properly go into the water. There is a bit of a natural lagoon, not lagoon, like a swimming, like a pool, ocean pool sort of, with no rocks in the resort beside Melia. I forgot what the name is, but yeah, it's just, you know, that beach wasn't that great. So if you're looking for a good beach, yeah, I would steer clear away from that. But I loved sitting on the lounger. You know, there were mountains in the background, like close enough, and you know, there's like, you know, huge rocks in the water, you know, dispersed, and that was absolutely gorgeous, to be honest. And I just love sitting there, you know, just like relaxing at the beach. So yeah, you're still gonna have a great time. I mean, you're still gonna have a great time. And now, you know, near the end of the year, I am in Grand Aston in Varadero. I wanted to come back to Varadero because I was in Varadero last December, so 2023 December. So I wanted to come back to Varadero because after going to some of these resorts and, you know, them being so quiet, especially during low season, and especially this year, I think has been exceptionally low in terms of guest turnout, I wanted to come to a place where it was a little bit more populated. And so yeah, here I am, Grand Aston, and also this resort is also new. It's about a year old. And what was interesting to me is that, you know, not a lot of videos, things like that exist where it fully shows the resort. So I thought, why not come here? And the price was great. The price was great. Couldn't complain. So I thought, why not just come here and you know, check out the resort, check out Varadero. And again, this resort, the beach isn't the greatest. It's a man-made beach. So if you're looking for a soft, you know, white, sandy beach and, you know, crystal clear waters where you can just like, you know, swim out, you know, meters and meters ahead, this beach is probably not for you. It still looks beautiful, as you can see. It still looks beautiful. But yeah, there is a bit of a patch, I think, over there within the resort where you can swim in. I haven't gone in, but I did try to go in at another part of the beach and the water, and that was not good. Enough said. That was just not good. A lot of rocks. So yeah, I mean, in terms of this hotel, Grand Aston, and my review will be coming up eventually, soon, hopefully. This resort, the employees are very professional. They're very, what I've noticed is they're very well trained. So, you know, they're very meticulous about cleaning up after the guests. So, you know, it's spotless. You go into, like, for example, the cigar bar. If somebody leaves an ashtray, you know, sooner than later, they'll just clean it up, and, you know, they keep on doing that. And they're the best, I think so far, one of the best, if not the best I've seen in terms of professionalism, you know. So yeah, the service is good. The service is good. And obviously, you know, I've been at resorts during low season so much that I had a bit of a culture shock with so many people here, especially because it's not just Canadians here. It's like it's more of an international destination, right? So people from Russia, people from Germany, you know, China and places like that, they come here to Varadero because this is the most marketed and oldest, I think it's the oldest resort town, right? So that's understandable. But I mean, to be honest, if you're looking for a beach, I obviously, you know, Cayo Santa Maria, Cayo Coco, they're better, right? And Cayo Largo, I've never been there, I've heard. But yeah, I had a bit of a culture shock with these people, a lot of people, you know. But yeah, it's been nice. It's been different, definitely, you know. It's been a little bit more upbeat, you know, more people, things like that. And the big building, the big main building, where it has pretty much everything, all the rooms and everything. You know, everything's central, and I like that. I like how convenient it is. But I would say the pool is kind of small for the amount of rooms that they have. I believe they have over 500 rooms, and the pool is a little bit small because right now it's about half capacity in terms of guests, and the pool is already pretty much filled up, you know. So yeah, it's going to be hard to see how it is when it's near full capacity. But yeah, apart from the beach, I knew coming here that, like, you know, the beach wasn't gonna be the greatest, but honestly, you know, I don't mind just sitting on a lounger and just relaxing. And speaking of loungers, this hotel has the most uncomfortable loungers both at the pool and at the beach. I don't know who makes them. I don't know if humans make them, thinking about humans, but it's extremely uncomfortable. It's the most uncomfortable lounger, honestly. I think you can ask for like a padding foam type thing from the hotel, and they'll give it to you. I think I heard that, but it's too much work. But yeah, it is pretty uncomfortable, not gonna lie. But in terms of, you know, nightly entertainment, things like that, it's great. And you have the town. That's the major plus side of coming to a resort in Varadero, because you have the town, right? You have the town. So you can go out and enjoy yourself at night. And again, you'll see a upcoming video of mine, where, you know, Varadero at night, you know, bars and club, things like that. Overall, you know, it's a good resort. They're very professional, the employees. They're very well trained, I've noticed. Very meticulous in terms of the cleanliness, and it's fresh and new, right? So, and they maintain it well. You know, my room is extremely fresh, and the color combination is a little eclectic. So, you know, you might love it or hate it. I don't know. But yeah, I respect that. Very modern, you know, things like that. But now the moment you've been waiting for. My favorite resort of 2024 that I've visited. Drum roll. Okay, make sure. Okay, note to myself, make sure you put a drum roll sound to this, okay? Drum roll. It has to be Valentin, Perla, Blanca. I'll be honest with you. Even though I really wanted more guests there, because only 25 guests, Valentin, Perla, Blanca and Cayo Santa Maria was absolutely gorgeous. I had such a good time there, and it was very relaxing, and I felt at home. You know, when you feel, sometimes you go to a resort and you feel like you're not wanted there for some reason, as in, like, you know, they're just like doing their job bare minimum, and they're like, all right, here's a drink, whatever, go away. That resort, it's like I felt so very well taken care of, and I don't know what I did to deserve it, but it was much appreciated. Those employees are fantastic, and that beach is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, definitely that resort. I want to go there again during high season just to see what the difference is, because, you know, I think there are, like, you know, a little bit of a party scene at night. I don't know, I can't verify, but I've heard. But yeah, I would like to go during high season in that resort and see how it is. So yeah, thank you for joining me. I'm getting cooked in the sun, by the way, and I gotta walk back and sit under the shade. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you in the next one.